If you're running your business out of the same bank account that you use for groceries, for gas, and for Friday night takeout, we need to talk. Because if you don't separate your business and personal finances, you're setting yourself up for tax nightmares, for cash flow disasters, and for financial chaos. The good news is that fixing it is way easier than you think. And today I'm going to show you how exactly to separate your money the right way without overcomplicating it, without spreadsheets, and without spending hours messing around with your bank accounts. So let's get into it. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You swipe your business card for personal expenses and your personal card for business expenses. And when tax season comes around, your accountant asks for your clean records and you just panic because you don't really know how much profit you're making because everything is mixed together. And when you need to pay yourself, you just grab money from the business whenever you feel like it. Look, you're not alone. Most business owners do this at first. But if you don't fix it, you're setting yourself up for major financial stress, potential IRS audit, and you never know how much money you actually have or how much you're making. So let's fix that right now. Here's a simple 3-step system to clean up your finances and actually understand your money. Step 1 is about opening a separate business bank account. And that's not later, that's today. If your business and personal money live in the same account, you don't have a business, you have a really messy side hustle. I don't care if you're making $1,000 a month or $100,000 a month, you need a separate bank account. And here's why. It's going to help you keep things organized and easier to track. It helps you clearly see what's in the business versus what's personal, and it makes tax season a whole heck of a lot smoother. And here's what you want to do when you set it up. You're going to need at a bare minimum a business checking account for income and expenses, a business savings account to hold cash reserves, and optionally, but most frequently, a business credit card for your expenses. Once you have all those accounts, you're already ahead of most small business owners, but we're not going to stop there. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that inside of Sequence. What we've done right here is we've already created a new account for our business, and that's simple. We just, in a few clicks, can do that right here. Do our business income, click confirm, and then all of a sudden we've instantly got our business bank account through ThreadBank, fully FDIC insured, based out of Nashville, with our routing and account number. Now, this can be our central depository account for all of our future funds that come in through the business. And the nice part about this is now that it's inside of the Sequence system, we can start to create the smart rules to allocate the money that we see fit. I've also synced an existing business checking account. And again, if you don't have one, it's really easy to do it with Sequence. All we need to do, if we don't already have one where we're going to connect an existing account, we just simply create a new account. And here we have the option to either select individual or our business. So again, if we did not have that, we'd say new business checking account. And so we don't have to run to the bank and fill out all the complex paperwork. Just like that, we've instantly created a new bank account with a routing and account number, and we can even issue a debit card, whether it's virtual or physical, so you can spend out of this account. Again, it's critically important for you to make sure that you have a business bank account so that your money is separated from the business and the personal side. Now, on to step 2. That's paying yourself a real salary. This is not about random transfers. And the biggest mistake that most business owners make is that they're treating their business like an ATM. They take money whenever they want or whatever they want with no system in place. And that's why so many business owners feel broke, even when they're actually making good money. Instead, you need to pay yourself on a set schedule just like you would a real job. Every week or every 2 weeks, transfer a fixed amount from your business to your personal account. Even if it's just $500 to start, you need to make it consistent. This does 2 things. It forces you to treat your business like a real business, and it helps you plan your personal finances as well as your business finances better. And guess what? You don't even have to think about it because with Sequence, you can actually automate this salary process. Every single time revenue comes in, Sequence can move money to your personal account for you. And if you already use a payroll company like ADP or Gusto, we can automatically send the correct amount every single time that you need it. I'm personally a big fan of Gusto, not a client of mine, but I love them and use them for my businesses, and they make the process really easy. Automatically calculating the salary needs, taking out the taxes, 401k, and everything else that you might need for your business. And the best part about using that with Sequence is that it means no manual transfers, no missed payments. You just set it and you forget it. And let me show you exactly how to do that right here. So we've already synced our external personal checking account. This happens to be with Capital One. What we can do right now is we can either click and drag to create a rule to send money on a bi-weekly basis to our personal checking on Fridays. Let's call this $5,000. We could do that. Or if you are using a payroll company, which is usually the best process so that you can start to take out taxes and make sure that that process is a lot easier for you, what we can do is, again, create a new account. We'll call this our payroll account. And at this point, this is the account that we can sync up to ADP, Gusto, whatever our payroll supplier is. They'll pull the money from here, and all we need to do is click and drag and create our rule so that whether we are triggering it every single time we get paid or trigger it by date. So let's say we want to trigger it by date. We want to do this on a weekly basis on Monday. We want to make sure that $5,000 is in there every single week. And just like that, we'll make sure that every single time Monday comes around, the money, the $5,000 is getting sent to the payroll account so that Gusto or your provider can pull that money and send it to the appropriate bank accounts for whether it's you or all of your employees. Now, on to step 3. That's about automating your business money flow. Now that you've separated your accounts and you've set up your salary, the next step is making sure that your money moves automatically. And here's what happens when you don't have a system. Most business owners leave everything in their checking account and then wonder why there's nothing left for future expenses. And that's a big mistake. Instead, every single time you get paid, your money should be split up immediately before you have a chance to spend it all. Because most people send all of their money to one checking account and then it's just a piggy bank for them to spend on their debt, on their savings, on their payroll, all of those different pieces, making it really hard to track and keep up to date. But if you structure it in a way that you have an account for business expenses, for savings or paying down debt, and for reinvesting in growth and for payroll, now instantly we can create the money flowing where it needs to go so that we can't overspend it. And let me show you exactly how to do that. Again, we can start to create these accounts instantly. So let's call this business expenses. Create another one for savings and debt, for growth. And one of the most important things that we need to do is make sure that we're creating an account for our taxes, because so many business owners get caught up at the end of the year not having set aside money appropriately for their taxes. So now we have the option to either click into our existing rule and just continue to add more rules to it, or we can create new rules. So let's just add on to this one. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to transfer a percentage. In this case, let's call it 20% for our taxes. I'm going to drag that first because we want to make sure that we're setting money aside for the taxes first and foremost. Now, if I click save, you'll see that that rule is instantly created. Every single Monday, this money will be distributed appropriately. Now, if we click back into it, all we need to do is keep adding our rules. And of the remainder that's left after our taxes and after our payroll, because those are so important, we're actually going to do a percentage of the remaining money. So let's do 30% to our savings and debt. We're going to add another account. And we're going to do 50% for our business expenses. And lastly, we are going to put 20% in our growth account. Now, just like that, every single Monday, we are going to be setting money aside to our taxes, to our savings and debt, to our payroll, to our growth, and to our business expenses. Now, again, we can get more detailed with this because for payroll, you might not want an unlimited amount of money in there. So what you can see actually in here is we can actually create limits. So by clicking on the payroll rule, we can start to create this rule where we're creating a limit of $5,000 per week because that's what we wanted to identify. Click save, and now I know that no more money than what I need is going into payroll while everything else is being evenly distributed or correctly distributed to our taxes, to our savings and debt, to our growth and our business expenses. Now, you don't even need to change banks because while we use Thread Bank, which is fully FDIC insured and based out of Nashville, these accounts are being opened through there. You can send this money directly to your existing account. So in this case, we have somebody using Capital One. Again, simple as this. We can send the money directly to the Capital One, or in this case, we might want our business expenses to be sent to the checking account. So every single time money hits that account, we'll be sending it right there. You can continue to use your same business bank that you want to. And again, remember that you have the ability to get a debit card, whether it's physical or virtual, if you want to use Thread Bank moving forward. Either way, it doesn't matter. We want to make sure it's as usable for you as possible and is easy to get started. So again, instead of manually moving money every single time, Sequence does it for you. Every time a deposit hits or every single time you want, whether that's weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, or annually, Sequence is going to automatically route the right percentages and the right amounts to the correct accounts. That means your business cash flow stays predictable, you're setting money aside for the things that matter, and your paycheck is consistent even if your revenue isn't. This is how you go from financial confusion to financial confidence. And remember, most business owners don't fail because they don't make enough money. They fail because they don't have the system to manage it. If you don't have the structure of separating your business and your personal expenses, it's only a matter of time before you feel overwhelmed. But if you follow these 3 steps of separating your accounts, of paying yourself properly, and automating your cash flow sequence, you'll never stress about this money again. And the best part is you don't have to do this manually. Sequence moves that money exactly where it needs to go automatically for you. No more oops, I forgot to transfer money. No more scrambling when expenses hit. Just set it and let it run. Now, if you want to learn more, click below to get started using Sequence today so that you can take control of your business finances and focus more on the growth of your business and not the money stress.